So again, this is the best we can do. Here I am at 43 years old, and my name is derived from the Bible, from up north being Reed Joshua Miley, and in the south being Titus Galatians. No, and the person they're looking for is a president, and the president that they're using is either Peter or Joshua in the Bible. So the person Reed and Titus Galatians that I'm referring to is something that I want to talk about. In this country, people are murdered because we're Southern. And so when you have a great person come over here, and even though they wanted me to explain cancer all the way St. David and Father George Washington, President, and Andrew Jackson, President Andrew Jackson, the way they were brought into this country as cancer and saints, and like one being Aaron and one being David, and then Washington being 80th virgin and Jackson being 20th virgin, about money. So David and Washington and Jackson, and how that this country murders virgins if they're not born that way, even though whoever's better. So what they want to know is I don't really know why they did this, but this country definitely murders virgins, and me passing as a virgin, and still to continue to murder me until it was too late. Because evil people like Jimmy Carter, originally about St. Joshua, and then Barack Obama, about Joseph Biden, and I don't really know why about fentanyl. So I really don't know why they murdered me, but about polio, but they did, and this has gone on for a while. Even Benjamin Netanyahu, for some reason, me being the greatest man to ever live, and being murdered at 2 years old, and now I'm 43 years old, and I've been murdered 4 times, and I really think Jesus to Joshua to God is within reach, seeing that I broke time travel, so that I'll be able to figure it out with Washington. And I'm sorry that my mother loves me, but regardless, I don't remember it, and they destroyed my leg and my heart about Jesus' blood in my heart, and lion's mineral in my mind, and not being schizophrenic, but punished at the major this way about a dime, Dankle's the way I call it, David and Daniel, and then other than that, I don't know why they did this to me, but I just want to let people know, I'm sorry if something ever happens to me. I love music. Me being a genius, as far as television, and not a homosexual or a black person. 5 minutes into this, some reason, sometimes you just life goes this way. I am a virgin. I believe in Alpha and Omega. And after Da is God means for legion to reign on earth. But until the time to the Ada, it's allegiance. And sin being after that allegiance and expecting legion. So this is not a suicide or anything, but I'm just saying when you're indicted and you kill Satan and the tribe changes and my mama and people murder me by indictments and basically money or such so forth. You know, they want to be crucified and they want to be murdered and I don't really love them for doing this to me about the South. You know, I always had a good life and I wish for the best and you know this is like a truly reported tragedy. But when I say indictments are murder by Moonwater. And my father being Sadie Mali, and my daddy being Rodney Mali. So what I did was I swallowed a piece of road pavement, asphalt, put it through my tracheotomy, and got it to my lung. And that's not why I died. I went all the way down through my lung, you know. And then later I got a piece of cement and I wrote Junior on it. That's what you would do. Okay, so I got it through my heart, and it went into my colon. And when it went into my colon, I mean, like, the time that it set into my colon, say it didn't come out and it, like, rump, I don't know, but tried to kill me. And that's when I knew that I broke Isaac Carr off. And it wasn't until, like, almost 20 years later that I was like 4 nights into life that all this was about Satan and on the other side. It was like us on this side. And I don't drink coffee. It was us on this side and I killed Satan and tribe changed. And so I like got murdered both ways. Black magic and black cats and about voodoo and vanquishing. Of course you got voodoo and vanquishing. But you can't live like right about that somehow. And I wrote wisdom, and I don't think that's right to live like that. And so I wasn't poisoned then. They gave me fentanyl, and before that I had given it Ebola and fentanyl. And like I said, I'm a virgin. I got a scar right there to prove it. And I broke the Isaac car off and tried to into Zebulon. Cause that's what God ordered. No, I was starting on purpose in life, and I didn't deserve to be murdered by fentanyl. And I already had a little problems cause Ebola from like when they might have been I was 2 years old. So that's coming from not the doctor's board, not NASA. But President Israel ordering for nuclear warhead reform, a jarhead, and we're finished with a jarhead. No one else on earth to be able to do it, and that's why I brought time travel off with Washington. I had to be indicted for it. I work 10 train a month. The way God fixed me. It's again, Jesus, Joshua, God. I love you all so very much. The thing is that I just can't live with a black man having sex with a white woman. Because, God forbid. And me being with Alpha and this country going back to Omega. Except for women and when I die, I have to be an old man. I have to do what's right and live to be an old man. And the person I love, loved in this life will never come back to me. She stayed with Paul. I had no friend left. No friend at all. And the stuff that they give me not to take medicine, the stuff's toxic. Didn't need it anyway. They punched me for a major cardinal. So that's it. Dom God. No Dom's a God. And she stayed with Paul. Cause I was worried about fentanyl. And I didn't have it. They just murdered me by it. So I told the little acid I had in my lung. That's the evidence. And the semen I had in my colon. That's the evidence. Kyle and Junior. That's the way it is. Next soldier primary. Alpha Bravo. And Jordan Valley District. Pine Primary Caucus. Louisiana State. Certification. And the only thing I ever needed adequately was air conditioner. So I'm not gay or anything, but it just isn't happening. It just isn't happening. So today I feel like today was the vice president, I mean, and the president coming about crypto we don't approve of. And some of the songs I wrote and listened to, so like they're trying to put all the songs together in case something happens to me. Since I was little, I tapped out some Barbra Street or something, I don't know, but I remember that. Me being blind, and I guess until I was like 5 years old, and nobody ever said anything about it in this house. And when I was little, I don't remember, but the thing is, my mom was a whitetail. My daddy and my mother, father are almost exactly the same people. About coal. And up here, me having two brothers and the McGee people and the Knight people and the Boy Scouts I went through, and working at Walmart and Gold Reform, and how always people were committing adultery. They just show me people only care for adultery, and I feel like that's the way this whole world ended. Me killing Satan, and then the Revelation, and Michael's people going on to Wormwood, and while we threw Satan in the the balls and stuff, that all four of us, the top four Lord Emmanuel's, Daniel and Paul and Joshua and Reed, were thrown into one grain of sand, and nobody would help us understand about that. That means Alpha is finished and Omega is beginning to go with God, and all the women are going to Alpha, and that's why they did this. They would use a little blind boy to be able to get prostitution on earth. And that's the only reason they did this. They used me to have a legalization of prostitution on earth. Where I was. And God didn't want that. God forbid black and white people, God forbid people have a relationship like that in any kind of way without marriage and mother and father. And when I was little, there was a little girl in my life, and that's what I mean. She gets it right, but Paul's the version that was before that when I killed Satan about a jar head, and because he went inside of me, and I killed him, and Jesus saved me. And he doesn't kill Satan forever, you know this, but it was enough to change the tribe. And that's the money that they were talking about, that David and George Washington and Andrew Jackson were brought into this world about being who they are, about money. And I wasn't born into this country like that. I wasn't born into life that way. I was born into this life as Joshua. And there are a few more people born in this world like Joshua. But the money that they're referring to, the tribe changes, they weren't the ones that the tribe changes. They were the one that money, when they were born, about the one that the tribe changed. And with David, it was Daniel. And Paul wasn't much. That's the only ones I know. David, about Daniel, and Washington, and Jackson. $20 and $1 about solicitation, and 20 being reformed, adjudicated. I don't know. A $20 bill is St. Joshua's adjudication for Andrew Jackson being president. And St. Joshua Mali is 10th best saint. And so Andrew Jackson was brought into this world and stole that from him. I stole nothing from no one to get this. Actually, when you figured out the way God fixed me, it's 10 trillion a month. So a beat of drinks are 10 trillion a month. And that's the president of Louisiana. So I'm a little out of breath. It kind of saddens me that mom and dad are getting older. I'm like 43 years old, and Donald Trump's the president. And we've got 4 more years of Donald Trump. So, all this adultery going on our phone. I'm like, how dare they use Jesus' little boy to try to get prostitution? They know it's not going to last. I'm like, well, why are they making a big deal out of it? When I die, they're not going to be allowed to do it. I don't believe God's going to allow it. It being me, a blind little boy they took this from, to have prostitution all over the world. By going to a war, getting David's gold, like that country, this country means David's in this country. He is. And David's 4th greatest saint. And a lot of people would say Luke Mahai, but it's not in this country. They referred to St. Luke and Paul being in Rome. Actually, Tel Aviv, I think is what they were saying. Tel Aviv in Rome. Yeah, I know that already. But my father, and I'm an American, and my mother, and I'm still an American. Regardless of how they report, he's referring to Tel Aviv. So, St. Luke is Tel Aviv, for the most part. And St. Elam isn't Jerusalem, but Titus Galatians from Jerusalem is the greatest virgin. So that's why I like Titus Galatians is the greatest virgin, and that's Jesus. And this is Joshua, Son of God. And this is God. You know, you can't really get that from me, so it's right here, like right there. That's just the way we are. And like, please don't hurt me anymore. And I'm steadily getting hurt. So again, it's important, imperative that you pray for your sin, Jesus to God, to Jesus verbally, especially on Good Friday. Especially at daytime, we best at daytime. So basically, all they were getting up was McDonald's, and for the most part, the logical reason And I was like, let's build church. And I'm like, with that man and the other man who were very loyal to me. After they die, you get whatever it means. And like, since it's like this, it's gonna be bad. Plus, it's the end of times. And I'm sorry if anything happens to me, but it happened. I ran for like 3 years already up to this date, and my legs got weak, and I'm just sorry that things were so dark and stuff about the dump. I wish I could have had a decent life if something happens to me. But I enjoy my family, my mom and daddy, and people around me. But every time I would go down to New Orleans, and New Orleans is the virginity for this country, it would get that a little bit worse. I'm like, New Orleans has become a bad place. And I'm sorry for this. But Jesus told me that so many people only care for sex in this life. I don't really care for what people are about sex. It hurts me to see a woman get murdered that way. And people actually act like they don't really know that they get murdered. And like, he never seen it coming. And I'm like, I did the best I could. No, I didn't expect to be this type of person, but maybe we shall be in heaven again, And so I made like a captain of 8,000 virgins, and they didn't really. I don't know if they really made any virgins in China. But in China, the trial goes to Timothy. And I believe it's Second Timothy. First Timothy was a saint. And in this age in China, China's fifth virgin is the China tribe in China. That doesn't. So as the car passed, and all these women for Paul, the times are going to Alpha with and Zebulon and Joseph and Benjamin, the last three tribes that we're going through with China, Russia, and ending in Alaska with Ramallah, Jerusalem, Ramallah. The time this day, the second saint is Ramallah, and Yellowknife and Ramallah, Geneva and Ramallah, Yellowknife and Alaska. I'm sorry. A lot of times I stay up and I don't get to sleep, not sure even think. But when I'm gone, you just can't. When I'm gone, you just carry on. Be sure to get the things you need in the bathroom. And be sure that you get the things in the kitchen. Be sure you have electricity and water. And you're going to need your yard taken care of. And you're going to need something to drive. It's best if you have a backup drive. And when you can't afford it anymore, it's best to keep your telephone bill paid. But truth in all wisdom, I love Jesus. I love God. And I'm sorry for the way things were difficult and complicated, but it became a very bad person in my life, and I loved looking up to older people. I was a very mature person, and I loved animals, and I was a little bit of an artist and a musician, as you could say, and I was a very fundamental genius, and I didn't intend on having problems about our coalition being run by foreigners and so forth. But the problem started with black people. And they're always going to fix to commit more sexual adultery. And that's all they ever were, was adultery. And they went back and forth between Eastern Diamondback and Western Diamondback about them killing Caucasians, and it was like they're cobras. And they're deuces, so I don't drink coffee. And the other people, the other side about a Western diet, it's always like weed and marijuana and all that. And I was like, I don't really need coffee. I don't really need marijuana. So when you remove that, all you have really is the military. And when I saw the military begin quite a bit of stupid stuff to me, they did about indictments and COVID vaccines from 100 cc's of coffee for black people to murder with sex to about Tahiti, the internal womb of a woman, and adultery, marriage, marrying black people marrying white women with Tahiti and marriage, their internal marriage in their womb with sex, their in utero. That really rubbed me the wrong way, and I feel like this country should be doing about it. About a for because God forbid it, and white women die because of it. Does that make sense? So like I can hardly breathe for the way they've done me, and I'm married to Jesus Christ. So I don't have to eat with people like this. Over 100 cc's of coffee vaccine. And they went straight after white women, which is wrong. And murdered quite a bit of people on Earth. And then the 110 cc's by SEALs. And I'm like, you just basically wanted to do away with me by Marines. I'm trying to say I was a Marine. I was a president since the day I set foot in this country. And I really didn't do nothing but getting like a couple little punches. And really never hurt anyone and never murdered anybody. I never really did anything wrong that I wasn't supposed to. So just a few little things. That's about all I have to say. I was involved in a bad accident, but it wasn't my fault. And the person who did I didn't sue him. And he was a good person. He was a smart person. And my friend passed away. I had a best friend, Aaron. I love their family, and I love my family, and I love the life I lived. I like to go into church and have a relationship with Jesus Christ, and holidays, and I loved who I was. I love school. I love the people at school. I love playing sports. I walked the streets a lot after I graduated. And people just kept on going. There's like, is it a woman or is it a man? I'm like, Cali Hill. And Junior is what it's called. That's where our virginity was broke off. I can always hear the black people in my ear. I think about Michael. Like, when will we ever destroy Michael from the United States of America? They're like, that's Satan whipping us. I'm like, no, you're committing adultery. That's all you care for is committing adultery. It's wrong. Jesus doesn't allow it. And you're just always about Jameson. Like, you people are over and dead. Like, and when I cleared Black Magic vanquished, they were on the other side. And Voodoo was on this side. And that's what they did to people. Voodoo and vanquished. Like, that's actually That's actually David, I think. Saint David and Michael. That's what they were getting out in this country. Saint David and Michael. And I was always getting it. They didn't care about Joshua one bit. All they cared for was Saint David and and Michael. And that's what Barack Obama and Donald Trump was getting at. And Joseph Davis came in and said, "I'm Muslim," and stepped down because I declared war on him. Because he was trying to give everything that this country was doing about white men having sex with black women, and it really wasn't. I told it wasn't. It was black men committing adultery and murdering over the counter sperm count, which murders people. That's what they weren't allowed to commit adultery, and they left, I guess. But they never did. They'd always stop and say, we don't have a problem with it. And that's all they had to do was say, stop them committing adultery. And that's what they were trying to do. But they locked all the white people up and said, we don't care about Louisiana. And they got overrun by black people. And they do this. Why? Because they love Pennsylvania. They didn't love the South. So I'm like, who do they love up north? The rock up north in the ground. Below them was stronger. And there's always like, you're not strong enough. They said, see, you're an adulterer, that's why we give that to you. I said, I'm a virgin. I'm married to Jesus Christ. And you know who it is? It's Thomas Jefferson for Alaska. About a golden form. Who Walmart sold their stores to Alaska. There was like always Arkansas this and Arkansas that, and it was Alaska who they sold it to. And it's been like that a while about Walmart being way over, and Thomas Jefferson the one that give all that gold reform that David had to black people. And Baton Rouge moved on. It happened a while. And that's all they wanted was Israel's. They wanted what was Israel's. You hear me? Black people wanted St. David's gold reform in Israel and Baton Rouge for Louisiana. And Alaska was like, we don't care. In case you didn't notice, Walmart is Alaska's. And Israel was always like, we're not allowing Walmart in our store. And they were always declaring war on our eyes, like Shiites. Shiites. You know who the Shiites were? Chinese. They were like, we're the ones that are destroying the best. They're like, I know who it is. Satan. And you can't do this. Why? Because you've always made mistakes as leaders and did this purposely. So you remember between Thomas Jefferson and Adams. John Adams. It wasn't him. It was I know it was James Adams, but John Adams. And there was like three Adams that want to be in there. There's like no more. So they had like 3 Adams and 1 Jefferson. So that's sort of like, Louisiana isn't over. Adams is over. Mali people are in control. And then there was like, he works at Walmart. And I'm like, when I worked at Walmart was when y'all were getting all this for the military out west about St. David. And there was always like Walmarts with Alaska. That's why we gathered all our gold to the Middle East War in the West. And they moved it. Moved it right over there. And Mark Miley, he's like, I'm a Miley. And he wasn't. He's like, look, I'm Mark Miller. That boy thinks I'm a Miley. He's like, I'm with Alaska. I'm like, listen first hand close. Gold reform is 60 trillion. That's David. It's in Babylon. Israel gave that to them. Why? Because that's David. David's right there where I was showing you. That's Daniel. And all this about David, and they don't care about Daniel. And who is it with this person? And when I showed them what they did to us, Alaska, they probably got hit because it's always like, let's run it northeast to southwest and drop it in like a little and then run it in northwest to southeast, you know. And they was like, ooh. What we had in the beginning plan was for like Israel's flag, and then that's when it came Francis Scott Key's flag. And that's when like Israel was like, well, that's our preamble, and this is your preamble, and that's the way we communicate with each other. And they said, see, he doesn't know the whole song right now. He's always making excuses about the sun. And when I was with Washington, it became such a hassle, the wind. And my people had this song. Because She's Like a Fool to Believe. She's like the wind. Not that I like the song, but a lot of people felt that way about what's going on with what soldiers are doing in the United States of America. And so when you're one person as a soldier, you get felt that way many times by flag. And when you have one person, you get one more person, you get one more person, you get one more person, and you just keep adding people. And that's how you get things done. That's how it's done. Because one person can get walked all over about religion. And it takes two people to save a person to become a Christian. And I figured out how that's done in the Bible. And no one could do it unless they love Jesus Christ. I'm very thankful for my mama showing me the righteous way to live my life. And my daddy. And all the people who love me. You have Mark and Luke. You have James and John. And then you have Holy Communion. And we pray on Good Friday and confess our sins. Learn to confess our sins verbally. And we speak verbally to Jesus to confess our sins. And that's just the way life is. And I got hit in my left eye so many times about Joshua, son of God. About Joshua, son of God. How many times do you think he's going to get hit? And that's them bullets. Them bullets hit him in his eye. The soldiers use that left eye. He's like, you see that left eye? He's a soldier. Meaning, Joshua, son of God. Joshua, son of God. That's how many times they're hitting people back and forth with guns. See? And when you get hit about sin so many times, that's what Jesus is trying to explain to you. That people use their eye about sin to murder. And he ain't really murdering. You know what it is? That's his life. He's Joshua. And that's the sin. From Jesus to Joshua, son of God, to God. It's Jesus to God. And they were like, oh, he's a Manukaran, or what do they call it? Yeah. Really, that's sin. He's a human being. He isn't wrapped or curled or anything. That's what they're getting between a locust war. The locust war and the other in the Bible, the Revelation. They said he's the one that won it. He's the one who won that war in the afterlife. They mean Jesus. We can't remember that like that. I say I look like a church. I don't really like the way I look, but they say I look ugly, but I'm a babe. Bible, and not necessarily, but the person I used to be with, Joshua's son of Nun. A lot of people don't realize it, but his name's the reason that everybody on earth knows that sex is only by marriage. And a woman's marriage, Tahiti, is forbidden. God forbid. And I don't have to live that way. Being Titus Galatians, the greatest man on earth, for the devil to do this to earth. And it's sad to me. I'm sorry. I hope whoever loves life will not commit suicide. But that is a woman's marriage, and that's the purest from adultery. You know, it's a sin to open up a woman. It's a sin to marry a woman like that. About her womb marriage. Inside her womb, they call it Tahiti, and it's a sexual intercourse within a sexual intercourse, and she dies from it from black people, because even though they were souped up with 100 cc's of coffee, like there's nothing wrong with it, and then 110 cc's of bread, vaccine. I think that's the stupidest thing on earth. To do McDonald's this way. One deer. That's what it's called. And I think it's wrong. And I don't think we should have to live like this. Me having no biological mother and no biological father. And my daddy had polio. And they were both good people. And my daddy had kidney stones, and we couldn't really get along because he had to dip tobacco, because they gave him fentanyl. He didn't contract polio. They did that to people. People call them people niggers. So here's the way it is in the Bible: a black man's a nigger, a black woman's a negro, and both of them are Nicolaitans. And that means also. And that's why they give them fentanyl and all this stuff poured in. Do you think Spanish people are really giving Spanish people fentanyl poured in for Spanish people? That's what Donald Trump lied about. He's lying about all these people over here in Louisiana getting fentanyl, polio. What we're supposed to do is deal with Washington, D.C. for giving the South polio. For what reason? Fentanyl. Here's what fentanyl is. See, remember earlier I told you that little asphalt I put in my lung? That's what that is. Liquid asphalt. In like a pure form. You know what it does? Puts you in wheelchairs. You see? It's right there at 44 minutes. 44:34. That's fentanyl. So Donald Trump's not really fooling people by ordering fentanyl. Saying fentanyl is coming in the country of Mexico. They already know how to make fentanyl. he's like, adjudicated. I'm like, you're a stupid person for killing people. You're a stupid person for allowing coffee 100 cc's for niggers to make love to white women. You're a sick person. Yes, I'm speaking to Donald Trump. And I think that all this other stuff about Ebola, like it's coming, it's not. What I'm gonna do is report Donald Trump for murdering people by fentanyl, which is polio, and Ebola, which is crucified.